Hi everyone, as promised, I am not here today, but guess what? I'm still here. And I want to thank Christine for coming in and filling in for me today. She's going to be directing traffic and pushing the buttons and making sure all the handouts are there and maybe helping you with your calculators and whatever it is you need today. So we're going to, just before I get started, we're going to just again, we'll take a very quick look at all the handouts that I gave for this unit and for this chapter test, and I'll just bring this over here. Okay, we've done this before and I want to do it, one more time. So we started out with that trig, with the trig 2 unit, and there was one kind of question that we didn't get to do on the last test, and that was the cosine law for lengths. That'll be the lesson I give on this video. And we also had the matching work that went with that package. Okay, and then we finished our trigonometry, and we went into the statistics and probability. And you'll remember we did, whoops, there it is. We did mean, median, mode, and range. There was a video with that. Trimmed mean, weighted mean, percentile. Okay, there'll be some review of that stuff today. And let's see. Oh yeah, here's the percentile, just the facts. One thing I don't have is my gray formula booklet, but that's okay because I know all of you guys have one, and there's one on the front desk there if you need. And there's my probability and odds and notes section and the matching exercises. And then we finished off actually on Wednesday with this exploration 5 expected value. So there are not any expected value questions on the review that I have today, okay? But there are some expected value questions in this package, so I wouldn't worry too much about it because it's quite recent. Okay, so I'm going to kind of hang my hat on the fact that the expected value was a very recent topic, and we'll set these aside for now. And we're going to move into this booklet right here. It's the test review day. Okay, and so this video 1, it's going to be the cosine law for lengths. So I'm going to bring my trusty board into the picture here, and we're going to work this through. So question 1, get right down to business. Determine length C, and the diagram is not to scale, so you have this right in front of you. So you've got lots of white space, and I'd like you to work and do your work on this white space, and I'll do the first 2 for you, and then you can try the last one yourself. Alright, so here we go. I've already labeled this one. Notice that this is not a right triangle. This would work for right triangles, but I'm not going to do right triangles. This is a non-right triangle, and this could be, I don't know, it could be 89, it could be 80, it could be 100 degrees, I don't know. And it doesn't really matter right now, because all we're interested in is this length of 6, this length of 5.1, and this angle of 32 degrees. We want to find out how long little c is. Okay, so little c, we're going to use the cosine law for lengths, and you'll remember that it looks like this. C squared is equal to a squared plus b squared minus this big mess, 2ab cos of c. To AB cos of C. Now you might remember that I asked you to just isolate this part over here, just to keep this as a big package for now. Okay, so what do? We just plug in the numbers and out will pop an answer at the very end. So you'll notice it kind of bears resemblance to the Pythagorean theorem if I covered this part up. And there is reason for that. So let's go. What is A in this case? Well, A is, well, there's capital A, so this must be little a up here. Little a up there. This must be little b down there. So a squared is 5.1 squared plus b squared is 6.0. I'm just going to put in 6 squared minus, now you won't see this bracket on a formula. I'm just putting it there to help us kind of stay focused. And we're going to go 2 times A, which is 5.1, times 6 times whatever the cos of C is. So go to your calculator, punch in 32 cos, or maybe your syntax on your calculator is the other way around. Maybe you need to press cos 32, whatever. And one way or another you will get an answer of approximately 0.8480. 0.8480. We know that that goes on forever. It fills up the screen on us. But I'm just going to write that down, rounded to 4 decimal places. Okay, so we're just going to continue our evaluations here. So 5.1 squared, it's going to be about 25. In fact, it is 26.01. At this point, you might be saying, I can't keep up to this. Just get the notes. And then you read the notes later. That's the whole purpose behind notes. Plus 36 minus this big mess. And the big mess, you go 2 times 5.1 times 6 times 0.8480. You get this big mess, and we are going to call that about 51.9. Okay, again, you don't need to understand every single step along the way and write at the same time. Just get it down and then ponder it as necessary later. Okay, so we're going to add these and subtract these as it says, and you will see that that will come to 10.11. However, I left my c squareds out along the way here. So whenever you want to undo a square, what do? You take the square root. So c must be the square root of 10.11, which is just a little bit over 3, I would think. So square root of 10.11. So you plug that into your calculator. I'm using the TI-83 today. And let's see what I get. 10.11 square root. And I get a big one. Oh boy. Okay, 3.179 and so on. I'm going to go the easy way and call that 3.2. Now, did I put units in there? Yeah, I did. So obviously, since our units are all the same, this is going to be 3.2 centimeters. Okay. Everybody see that? I think it's good. All right. Let's go to the next one. And as I said, I'll do the two of them for you, and then I'll let you try the last one all by yourself. So there's not a lot different between this one and the last one, but there are two differences. One, we don't have an acute angle like we did in the last one. Remember the last one had a 32-degree angle? Well, this is an obtuse angle. It's 107 degrees. And you'll remember one day we did a chart and we saw the sine in one column and the cosine in the other column, and we watched and we did a pattern. We checked the patterns, and you might remember that when an angle is obtuse, if it's more than 90, it's going to be a negative number. The cosine of this guy is going to be negative, so you can't ignore that sign. Okay, so that's going to come into play in our calculation. And I also have not labeled it yet. So I'm just gonna, I would love to be able to ask, what do you want to label this at? But obviously that's not going to work. So we're going to call this A, B, and C. And yeah, I'm going to call this angle here B. That's what I have on my notes anyway. So A, B, and C, and we are obviously solving for little b, and that makes this little a and this little c. Let me see if it's all in the picture. Yep. Okay. So you look at what it is you want to solve here. We're solving for little b. I think there's somebody in the kitchen making noise. Who's making noise in the kitchen? Me. All right. Jeffrey, I'm doing a video.
Oh. Okay.
So let's make our formula here. B squared is equal to a squared minus 2ac cos b. You'll notice that this formula, you only need one of the formulas. I gave you three, but really you only need one. It's the lowercase letter that's isolated has to be the same letter of the angle that's given. That's the only way this formula will work. Okay, so let's just quickly go through this and see what we get. We have A is 4.5, C is 3, oh, there's a 3.0 again, oh well, minus, and again I'm going to put this bracket in here just to keep ourselves kind of contained, and I'm going to go 2 times 4.5, not squared, just 4.5, times 3 times, okay, what is the cos of 107? Take a second, look that up. 107 cos. Okay, see it's negative? So negative 0.2924 I'm going to call it. Okay, I'll just wait for a second until you get that down. So here we go. 4.5 squared is 20.25, I think. Yeah, how about that? Plus 9 minus, now I'm going to put this bracket back in for a second. I'll show you why. Because if you multiply all this stuff out, and don't forget this sign, you are going to get a negative. You're going to get a negative value, and I'm going to call it approximately negative 7.89. Okay, so just a step or two more and we'll be home free. Little mathematical reminder here. When you're subtracting a negative, it's exactly the same thing as adding. Now, it doesn't matter to me if you ignore the double negative and just add, or if you actually subtract negative 0.789. At the end of the question, you need to have a number about this size. 37.14. Okay, and I'll pull my B's along here like I should have. $37.14. If you're getting in the neighborhood of 21, you're missing a sign. Okay, so how do we undo a square? Well, we take the square root, so we take this and just make it b, and take the square root of 37.14, and guess what? That will be in the neighborhood of 6, and the exact, well, close enough, is going to be 6.1. And it just barely fit into the screen. How about that? Okay, so what I want you to do right now is I want you to take a look at that question 3 on that page, the one that says you try it. It's already labeled for you, and I will put the answer right. Well, you're not going to see the answer. I'll tell Christine the answer. How's that sound? And she'll tell you later. So I'm going to close that down. Make sure you have all those handouts. Take a look at this. If you need to read this all again, now's the time to do it, okay? So Christine's going to give you a little bit of time to work. If you finish it right away, you can start into the other things. And she'll be starting up another video. Perhaps you've already seen it already. I don't know. But that's it for this one, and work hard. I will see you later. Thanks.